All right. We are here. Welcome everybody to the first episode of the Father's. I'm gonna call it the Father's Day podcast for right now because we're actually recording on Father's Day. But thank you if you're listening to this, man. My name is Dwayne Murphy Jr. Not really much to tell other than I'm a young dad. And I get a lot of questions. A lot of people talk to me about like what's new dad life like. You know what I mean? There's a lot of things about it that I just feel like don't I don't get a chance to really discuss. You know what I mean? We live in a world where once the mom has the baby, it's pretty much you got to worry about what she's going through. And I don't want to sound bitter, but like I'll be struggling too. You know what I'm saying? But
Sure.
that inspired me to start this little podcast and try to find other dads and talk to them about their journey and just the struggles that comes with it. You know what I mean? I know it's not a unique situation, but it is something that we don't hear a lot about. So that's why I was inspired to do this. The first guest that I brought on was a good friend of mine out here in Southern California, Troy Douglas. Say hello, man. Introduce yourself.
What's going on, everybody? It's Troy Douglas, aka, 2 times the pullout game was weak, aka young man don't get no sleep.
Yeah, no, yeah, I'm learning that. I'm learning that now. I underestimated how much sleep I wouldn't be getting. People be like, man, you ain't gonna sleep again. I was like, whatever, Well, now
Yeah,
you
ain't gonna get. Oh, go ahead.
No, sorry, that's my baby. Hold on. As you guys can see, the job is never done.
I'll keep it running. Yeah, the job is never done. Being a dad, for all you dads out there, you already know what's up. For all you non-dads, we're giving you a peek into what the life is. Now, I'll tell you, being a dad is the most joy I ever had in my life. It's just also the most responsibility. It's the most stress. It's the most thankless job I ever had to put so much work into. And you know what makes it thankless, Dwayne?
Yeah.
It's more of the woman than your kids. They're kids. You understand? They don't know. They don't have a scope on life and what to appreciate.
Right.
But dang, I'll tell you what, a woman definitely puts her suffrage first before yours, and which is it's I'm not saying that she's not right about that. It's just that like Dwayne said, we have feelings too.
No, I think you put that perfectly, man. Because like I think that's sort of like the essence of what this podcast is. Because I know that I'm not a bitter person because I understand what my wife went through. You know what I mean? Like carrying a kid and all every day with her being sick, giving birth to that kid. That is a tough journey, and then postpartum depression. All that stuff is real. You know what I mean? But you're right. There's times as a father where you're going through something and you don't want to make everything about you. You know what I'm saying? You just want to provide a good, stable home for your family. You know what I mean? But it's like no one's asking what's going on. You know what I'm saying? Every article you read is mothers and you know what I mean? They're postpartum and stuff. I found an article where it said, about 60% of mothers do go through postpartum depression, but about like 40% of dads also go through a bit of a postpartum thing. You know what I mean? Where it's like, we do also have struggles, you know what I mean? And so it's like, it's just, I think it is important to have a place to acknowledge that,
Yeah, I mean, my girl, I'm gonna say certain things because I know she's comfortable with me sharing, but she experienced postpartum depression herself, and she acknowledges the change in her that is going to affect me, but she don't acknowledge it until it already has happened.
Yeah.
it's not a corrective thing right there on the spot. It's something that I don't know about you, but something my girl reflected on after the fact and said, things must be hard for you too, or said sorry,
Yeah.
But of course, I had to say sorry 100 times before I got one sorry.
Yeah. You do a lot of seeing things in real time, whereas your wife is sort of like so locked into what she's doing. You're right. It's like she goes underwater and then she'll come up for air every couple and be like, "Oh man, are you struggling?"
That's a good way to put it, Dwayne. And women, they do have a duty that's more investing with the child initially, right? Like they got to birth them first. I mean, carry them. Then, possibly if they do breastfeed them, and I guess like their bond is really attached. So, and I think a father, I was telling my girl this the other day, a father, his level of, because a woman has to sacrifice immediately. She sacrifices her body. Immediately she sacrifices everything else, right? Whatever that comes with it. A guy gradually learns what he has to sacrifice. You know?
That's a great way. That's a great thing to say, man. Because I honestly, like, I didn't understand what I was giving up until he got here. You know what I mean? And it's like,
exactly.
Put that in my head early on, because while she's pregnant and I'm not, I'm just like, hey, hey, let me just get this last little. Remember, I was like, basketball and hang,
Yeah.
It's like I'm not preparing.
Have a couple of drinks.
I'm not
stand up.
Yeah, doing stand up, everything. You know what I mean? And it's like, if I had understood what I was getting into, or what I should have been like preparing myself for mentally, you know what I mean? Or it would have been, I would have taken a lot of different, would have had a lot of different actions, I guess. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Hindsight's 2020.
Yes.
But the thing is that being a dad is what a dad is, right? You busted this nut. You had this child. Whether it was planned or wasn't planned, at the end of the day, you gotta address the consequences of your actions. The obligation and responsibility, and the part that's messed up is that you really won't get that appreciation for 2 decades.
Right. Yeah.
When you're
yes.
Yeah. Because I'm telling you, your woman ain't gonna give it to you. She's gonna give you some appreciation, but she's not gonna give the appreciation that you feel is valid in your heart to satisfy the sacrifice you made.
Yeah. This is my first Father's Day, and I spoke to my dad today, and I was just like, man, I really did not like I did not appreciate you the way I thought I should. And my son's only 9 months old, but even in this 9 months, I've been like, man, I spent 30 years saying just,
just going through, and it's a fluid thing, right? Being a good dad, but just going through being there for your woman during the pregnancy and the birthing process validates you as being a father, right? Get you the ticket to say I'm a dad, Yeah,
that's a ticket. That lets you in.
That lets you in. Exactly. And then the thing, but this club is different. This is a club of is more just status. There's no champagne in this club. It's just status.
There's no privilege. You don't like go. There's no special room.
Exactly. There's no privilege in this club.
It's like those dances back in school. Like it's in the gym, and then you just it's just a punch bowl over in the corner. Maybe
you can't grind on nobody.
Can't grind on nobody. Maybe a DJ. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, maybe a DJ playing all the kid bops. Rapping. You get to hear "Drop It Like It's Hot" with all the words bleeped out. And but like you said, but you got to continually be there. I don't know. There's no book to parenthood. I mean, to raising your kid. So that's why I never critique somebody's way of upbringing their kid. The only thing that ever bothers me is a dad that doesn't try to be there. Even if you're separated with your girl, you got to try to be there. You got to try. Yeah. And it's fucking, once a weekend, or if you're picking up your kid from school every day, and just having that 1 or 2 hours, like you got to try to be there, whatever you can do.
Because kids just want to know that all they remember is you being there. You know what I mean? They don't care about anything. They don't care about how much money you have, or they just like, were you there? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Nothing messes up your identity more than not knowing who your daddy is.
Yeah. Yes. So talk to me a little bit about that. So I think about this weight of knowing now that, like, because of my actions or whatever whatever my influence is on my son, that's really going to determine his like journey in life. You know what I mean? I think about all the
Mhm.
decisions I made dictated by how I felt about my dad. It's almost like it's everywhere. You know what I mean? So like, do you
Mhm.
feel that weight of, like I got to be the best that I can, and how do you like handle that?
So the first thing is that I'm not always going to have the right answers. So even when I'm trying to be the best that I can, that might not even be the best decision that I made, you
Right.
know?
Right. That's fair.
Uh,
I like that.
and, if I look at my own dad and I look at my relationship with my dad, I had a lot of critiques of him when I got, 18, 19 years old about the things that I felt he could have done better.
Mhm.
And I feel like, looking back at that now, it's unfair for a child to, come at their father that way because, I didn't realize how much he had to sacrifice. I only have a child's mentality at that time.
You only
But with that being said, I can see how my dad could possibly not take that as devastating as I look back at it now, because he probably knows my child mentality because he's been my age. I ain't never been his age,
Yeah.
So your kids are gonna get some type of scar somewhere along the way. It's impossible to raise somebody perfectly, and that scar is going to define them, and hopefully that scar isn't something that leads to a negative negative personality flaws, like truly negative, self sabotage type of character flaws, but and then from there, man, you just gotta hope that your kids will talk about you in a positive way. When they talk about their dad, when you're old or when you're dead one day, they speak about you to their children in a positive way. And the only way you can do that is by leaving a positive impression on them.
Yeah. I love that, man. I love that. Now you have two children, right?
Yeah, I got two sons.
Yeah, tell me about them. Two sons, I believe 1 and 4.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. They're gonna be 5 and 2 in August in a couple months.
So they both their birthdays are in August.
Yeah, both of them. They're 5 days apart.
Wow. Wow. Okay.
I'm like, man, they about to have the same birthday.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's kind of, is that more or less convenient for you? How do you feel about that now?
I know exactly, right. I feel like for me, if I had to make a decision, they would have the same birthday. But my fiance, she's the one who wants to separate their birthdays and make it special for each one of them. I'm like, man, they ain't gonna know the difference. What they're gonna remember is that me and my brothers had birthday parties. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
yeah. So I have 3 younger brothers, and my younger brother, Chris, me and him are 4 days apart. I'm the 27th, he's the 23rd. So yeah, I feel So that must be tough.
Did you guys ever have the same birthday parties or birthday celebrations?
Bro, let me tell you, we also have a cousin named Brandon, right? And he's the 25th. I have had the triple birthday. The triple birthday party with the happy, literally like happy birthday May 23rd, 25, 27.
Yeah.
They cut the cakes. They cut our numbers out of the cakes. Like it's something. It's just I've had that. I've done that. It is
I've been to those parties for kids, my birthday is in November, and I didn't really have like birthday parties period. Like myself, like my parents, used to just normally cut a cake, and it'd be like my cousins and not even like my deep, it'd be like my closest cousins, you know what I'm saying? It would be like family from everywhere coming over, but my brothers, their birthdays were in summer, and they always had the parties.
Okay. Yeah.
They're older than me too, so
it's fun. It's like I think when you're younger, you don't think much about it. There's a certain age where you go, I want my own, like, you know what I mean?
Exactly. Yeah, I remember being like 12, 13 years old and being like, man, why my brother get a party every summer? And my mom be like, well, your birthday's in November. I'm like, damn, you couldn't fucking take me to Big Bear or something.
Yeah. Now, do y'all do the thing where if it's somebody's birthday, you still give a gift to the other kids so that they don't get upset? My parents used to do that to us sometimes. Like they would just like,
Yeah. I mean, with my sons, I mean, right now they had my son's first birthday. He was only 1, but he had his own party, and whatever. Then the other one had, so I had 2 parties within a week of one another. Being a dad is super expensive. You don't realize that you're paying for a whole nother person until you really start having to pay for a whole nother person.
Yeah, like all the time. It's not like one of your boys either, where you can be like, hey, bro, you can't come with us this time. It's like,
yeah, exactly. All right, shit, man. All right, I'm gonna spot you this one time in the movie theater, in mind that he'll probably spot you one day again.
Yeah, exactly. If my son ever reaches for his, like, oh man, I'm like, get out of here.
Yeah, right. I got 20 years of paying for you or something,
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but I'm kind of high. I forgot what we were talking about.
No, we were just going through your kids. I have a good question I wanted to ask now, because I think about a lot. Just talk to me about this might be technical to think about, but like, I guess you have 2 kids, so if you want to do your first son, that's fine, because I have 1 baby. My son is 9 months old, and I think a lot about the moment we left the hospital. You know what I mean? Like the moment where you finally, like, the doctor says goodbye, you and your wife and the baby get in the car, and it's like, this is it. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
If you walk me through that moment, because I feel my story was like, I did the thing where, like, I brought like the whole box with my car seat in it, and it was like the whole, like, I didn't know how to fumble around. Just talk to me about that moment, what you were feeling, what you were going through.
So I had 2 type of mentalities, not that I was fucking, split personality sociopath or something, but I had 2 types of feelings going on during that time. And one was the feeling that everything's gonna be okay.
Yeah.
And the other feeling was, should I be feeling more right now? Should I be, why am I not doing what the movies do and fucking hysterically crying or passing out or, something like that, or losing myself? And I think it's because I just felt that I had to be as strong as possible for, my girl. And because I'm talking about my first son, because that's the more traumatic situation. But my first son, she had to have an emergency C-section, and it was like 19-hour labor. And then, they decided that they had to. And, just her reaction to the whole situation. And I can imagine, right? I mean, I wasn't going getting sliced up, but.
You just said my wife had a C-section. Yeah, you're just sitting there like, I feel you.
It's true, like, so, me being there for her, I had to really, I told myself in my head, and I told my girl these things now. I didn't say it at the moment, but I told myself in my head, I'm gonna get my girl, like, I don't know what I thought. I think maybe like 16 or 18 months. I forgot how long I gave myself in my head, where I'm gonna bite my tongue to everything she says. Boy, that shit was hard in the motherfucker. I was like, I'm gonna bite my tongue to everything my girl says for the next like 16 months, because I know that she just went through this traumatic experience. I know that raising my son is gonna be like from this, like, and I'm not saying I thought this first day.
Right.
But it was everything was brewing in my mind, just always constantly thinking about how I'm going to react to her, and how I need to have empathy for her and how I need to be patient for her. And the thing with my son, it was so unconditional love that I didn't have to think that way. It was just, my girl was who I had to like mentally make those adjustments for a duration of time. I'll tell you what, after that 16-month boy, that argument was on a cracking. Oh, I'm letting it rip now. It's been 16 months. I'm about to get my fucking 2 cents in now, Yeah,
now that you guys got a little rhythm, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm like, now that you back, I know the postpartum got to be, kind of phasing off, the kid, he's not crying as much and shit.
Right.
It's been 16 months,
Right.
I pretty much almost gave her 2 years to come at me sideways and just accept it. Just let it happen, And I'll tell you, man, when I let that go, though, I remember when I looked at the month, I thought to myself, I said, the next argument, I literally thought to myself, the next time she brings some shit up, it's time to go.
It's time to go.
It's time for me to let this one loose, boy. It's been brewing up, bro. But, sometimes that's when you have the best sex. You guys are fucking fighting and shit, kid crying. And then fucking somehow you get through it without fucking killing each other, and then the kid takes a nap. The next thing you know, you guys cuddling up, that booty go on you, boy.
Yeah. I can definitely say that's those arguments, especially in the beginning, are definitely tough to navigate. My wife and I think it was like the first he'd only been home a couple of days, I think, you know what I mean? And it's just like we were already like, just the first time, I think it was the first time he threw up. That's what it was. It was the first time he threw up. And I was actually asleep. I didn't even see it. You know what I mean? And I know my wife was just like, "Oh my God, you know what I mean?" And so, and so, but I'm over here like, man, you need to chill out. You know what I'm saying? And like, just not you just don't. You're right. You do have to adjust to this new way of life. You know what I mean? And I could have been way more patient and been like, hey, like I could have like seen the forest from the trees, so to speak. You know what I mean? But you're right. That adjusting, that does take time. You know what I mean?
That's what I'm saying. Like what you just said right now about your son throwing up in the middle of the night and you not seeing it and her seeing it was a situation similar to what I experienced too. And now actually it's happened plenty of times. But anyways, like I'd be going to sleep.
Throws up every day.
No, I'm saying I'm going to sleep. She's not going to go to sleep like me. She goes to sleep. Well, especially when the babies are young, like she don't fully go to sleep. Me, I knock the fuck out. I got to work tomorrow or something like that,
Yeah.
But she woke me up in a frantic and was like, pretty much, this is going on. I can't remember exactly what it was. That's good recall for you. But I just know that I was like, kind of like, what do you do? Oh, all right, that's not a big deal,
Yeah.
And then it created an argument, like, da 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 da, and then it's like, but you get, man. I always think about this every fight that I have. We have, sometimes we have some big fights, and I'm gonna keep it real. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's good a lot of the time, but fights are fights. It happens. Yeah. Anyways, but I always think to myself in the back of my head, if we get through this fight, it's gonna be okay. Yeah. As long as the world don't end right here after this thing, she gonna get past whatever the hell she feels, because it's never me really tripping that hard. She gonna get past whatever she feels.
Okay.
I'm gonna keep it straight, and she knows this. My girl knows this. Right. My girl knows that she is a peculiar person. Me, I'm easygoing, baby. Right. As long as you ain't putting but she's a little bit more of a thrill seeker. So there's that. This is what I get upset. I get upset if you ain't being safe. My shit's like safety first.
Yeah.
My girl, she's Mexican. They're like fucking, let the kid play with nails as long as he's having fun. Yeah. He'll learn what the consequences of playing with nails are. I'm like, nah, motherfucking, don't put those nails there.
See, I'm like your wife. I'm over here like, man, just roll them around. You know what I mean? Get them in the dirt.
Yeah. No, but she don't like dirtiness. Yeah.
Okay.
But when it comes to like, I'm not saying nails. She wouldn't let him play with nails.
But I know what you mean, though. Yeah. Just let them
like, let's say like standing on like a high thing or something like that or whatever. Like just experiment with themselves as long as it's not involved with germs. Me, I'm like, man, they get dirty playing in the sand. That's not a big deal.
Yeah.
But if they hanging upside down the monkey bar, I'm gonna be like, hey, be careful, son.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we just have different philosophies,
Yeah. So talk to me about your sons and they're like you said it before in the very beginning where the navigating the times when being a dad is the most like joyous time of your life, and then but you did also say that there are times when you're just like I can't do this. You know what I'm saying? Like, just walk me through how you cope with some of those situations, because I feel like as a young dad, I always feel so guilty when I get to those spaces. You know what I mean? Where I'm just like, you know what I mean? Like other week I was in the shower like crying just because I was just feeling overwhelmed and everything like that. But then when you step away from that, I do feel this guilt of like, should I have those thoughts of like, man, I'm just not do, you know what I'm saying? Like,
and you know what, Dwayne?
Go ahead.
I mean, you know what? It's funny because it's always about just like something that's reminding yourself that everybody goes through this. You know what I'm saying? Because it's true.
Yeah.
Shoot, I can't tell you how many times I've done cried. I can't tell you that, man. At this point, my son's old enough where I cried in front of him a couple of times. You know what I'm saying? Because it is what it is, and I'm always trying to articulate what I'm gonna say to my son in situations. My 4-year-old, and it's starting to show as he gets older that his understanding of life situations within our family, right?
Mm-hmm.
So he will kind of stop us from arguing at this point, I mean, I'm not gonna say everybody's different, right? So
Yeah.
I believe in God, and me and my family, we pray together. We pray a lot, and I always go back to scripture and stuff like that. And that kind of stuff helps me remind me that this world is going to be cutthroat, and nobody's gonna hold your hand. And as a man, so this is why brotherhood and camaraderie is a real thing. Because the only person who can even sit here and understand what you're going through is another man. But that doesn't mean another man's gonna take care of your workload. It just means that they're gonna look at you and give you that nod, like, "Oh, I know what you're going through."
Yeah.
But for dudes, that's enough. Like for dudes, it's like, you know what? The fact that he knows what I'm going through, it's like you could laugh at it together. You could laugh at your guys' pain together.
Yeah.
And so like crying as a father, I don't give a fuck. I've been toughest thugs have cried as a father. If they're there for their kids and they're over there dealing with the, whether they're together or they're not together with the mom, they've shed tears, because that's how raising children is the hardest thing in the world. And people will be like, "Oh no, quantum theory is the hardest thing in the world."
Yeah, no.
Who does the quantum theory? The people.
Yeah, exactly.
Somebody had to birth that person. Somebody had to raise that person to put them in position to even,
to come up with quantum theory.
Yeah, have those resources to even deal with that. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So yeah, raising children is the hardest job. It's the most rewarding job, because without people, we're extinct.
I love that. Well, this is perfect time. I got the thing. We're running low on time here. So
let me ask you a question, Dwayne.
Go ahead. Ask me anything
real quick, because I know we don't have much time.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like this is all case by case for everybody. Everybody's children and their relationship with their children is different. So I want you to tell me, within these 9 months of your child, you have a relationship now. So tell me just how you feel about you and your son's relationship at this point.
Me and my son. I mean, it's 9 months. But I feel like my son really is like my best friend, which is very it's very strange, because he's only been here so long and he doesn't speak, or, you know what I mean? It's not like I can ask him how his day is and stuff like that. But like, he does say, my wife is here. He does say dad. My son is at the dad stage. But I just feel this connection to him where it's like, I have never felt before, you know what I mean? Like, I see so much of me in there, to the point where it's like, I'm like, it shocks me. You know what I mean? It's just like, I'm just like, oh my God, I do that. You know what I mean? Like, what we were having, for a while, our son, he scratches his head, you know what I mean? And so for a few weeks, we were like, why is he scratching himself so much? And it's funny, because I would like talk to my wife, and I would be doing, you know what I'm saying? And just like, have that realization of like, oh my God, like that there's so much me in there. And like, it excites me, because like, I want to see what that turns into, you know what I mean? Like, and it makes me think of my dad. Like, he was like, I'm sure as he watched me evolve over the years, you know what I mean? It has to be, it just had to be an amazing journey for him. And it makes me excited about it. I mean, like, I do feel like my son is like my best friend, and like my most like, and like my passion project, you know what I mean? Like, I don't want to be that dad that's like trying to, but I just feel like I just want to see him just become, come online. Me and my wife say, come online. You know what I mean?
Come online.
I don't want him to do that. And it's been the most exciting thing for me. Yeah, better than having, go ahead.
How much time do we have left?
I got about 8 minutes left. Got about 8 minutes in wrapping up, but yeah, it's the time, because Zoom will just cut it off. So I don't.
Let me tell you then real quick, Dwayne. I think you're gonna be a great father. You're already a great father. The kind of passion that you have towards fatherhood, and deep thoughts that you have towards critiquing yourself is gonna that's the work we got to put in to be a great dad, right? And this is what I don't like, because I've had somebody kind of allude this to myself. Don't put all your dreams and hopes on your child, like you said, passion project. I'm like, nah. You know how many people would love to have a dad that invested their passions and dreams into them?
Right.
So it's like, do with your kid what you want to do with your kid, because he ain't ever gonna have another dad. You're gonna be his only dad. Even if your woman left you or you passed away and she got another nigga, you his daddy. He's always gonna look at you like he was his daddy. He'll look at pictures and be like, that's my daddy. This other nigga he'll have like respect for, but that's my daddy. You know what I'm saying? So do what your son, what you and your woman agreed to do together, because it is a partnership and compromise and stuff like that. But this is why I say too, and I'm sorry to keep rambling, but the only person who could teach your son how to be a man is you.
Love that.
That's what I always say. A woman cannot teach a boy how to be a man. And the only person who knows the kind of man that he is more likely to be is you. Because you and him are almost the exact same carbon copy.
Right. Right.
So, and this, I'm gonna leave my last words here, giving props to the ladies. All right. I feel like I've been heavy on the women, but to be honest,
it's okay. You actually haven't been, and I appreciate it, but it's a safe space to let that out. I think you've been good.
Yeah. But this is legit though. Without women, there is no purpose. There is no purpose for anything without women. Women have to have the children. Women drive the men to be better. If I wasn't with my girl, trust me, I wouldn't be brushing my teeth every day. I wouldn't be showering every day. I wouldn't have been working as hard.
Yeah.
I'd be jerking off way more. Those are all counterproductive things.
Yeah.
So without my girl, I wouldn't be who I am today. And love is something that evolves. So just because our love isn't as Instagram friendly as it was when we were first year dating, going to places, doesn't mean that we don't love each other. It's just love evolves. A relationship at 10 years ain't gonna be like at year 1. 10 years ain't gonna be like year 50. Year 50, your freaking relationship is like looked at as, some golden compass for other relationships,
Yeah.
So,
but they don't understand the journey that it took to get there. And I think that's
exactly.
Important. Yeah.
Only you and your woman understand that. That's why marriage and relationships are special, because we only have so much time on this earth. And if you spend it with that person majority of the time, then you gotta put, your worth. You gotta put that worth inside of you of what that means. Because that's your lady.
I love that, dude. I love that. Thank you. Thank you for for saying that, and thank you for just coming on and sharing this time with me, dude. You know what I mean? Like I'm excited to do this with a lot of dads, and I hope I can bring you back on too and have another episode with you, man. You know what I mean? It's a usual podcast, so if you have anything you like to plug or anything you want to say or anything you want to leave, go ahead, man.
I got probably like a minute. So you can follow me on Instagram, Troy Douglas LOL _. I got the Extra Crispy podcast. I need to start releasing more, but that's my podcast. And I just want to leave, as far as message wise, to live and let live. Go out there. I don't know what your creed is. I don't know what your sexual preference is, but go out there and experience life. Try not to hurt so many people if you can, but if it happens, just learn from it. I've done it before too. And for all the dads out there, keep busting those nuts, motherfucker. Keep having babies. Keep coming in your lady. If you a player, go ahead and have a couple babies from a couple different ladies. You know why? Because at the end of the day, without people, we are extinct. All right? Without people, we won't exist. Okay? And hopefully me and Dwayne's son can be some players, and y'all have some daughters, and we can, watch our sons live out our youth from back in the day with y'all daughters. You know what I'm saying? I gotta be straight up, all right?
Hell yeah, dude. That's what's up, fellas. Keep busting them nuts, fellas. All right. So, yeah. Man. Thanks for coming on, dude, and I appreciate it, man. Yep. And and like I said, this has been I think the working title right now is the Father's Day podcast, but we find another name, it'll happen. But like I said, my name is Dwayne Murphy. I appreciate you guys coming on. You can find this podcast. Probably it's gonna be on YouTube, and then I'll pull the audio and get it on Spotify and everything pretty soon too. But thank you. This is the first episode, hopefully the first of many. And Troy, I appreciate you being on, dude. So
hey, Dwayne.
Yeah.
You're the man for having me.
Of course. Say hi to my baby.
Yes.
Say hi to my
Hey,
baby.
what's your son's name?
This is Noah.
Noah, what's going on, buddy?
Hey.
Yeah, you looking strong, Noah.
Yeah.
That's good, man. I know you looking at your mama like, who this brown looking Arabian mother?
He's reaching for his mom already.
He's like, this guy looks like he's part of the Taliban.
Look, it's my turn.
He wants the mic. He wants to talk.
Oh, you want? Oh, he's a natural stand-up right there. Hey, Dwayne, we need to, when your kid turns like 4 or 5, we need to just have a stand-up show just for kids. Like let them perform. You know,
no, this camera, because my nightmare is being at an open mic and then he walks in and he's like, be like, how do I get on the list? I'm like,
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Hey, this is what I say. If I ain't Michael Jackson, I'm gonna be Joe Jackson. You know what that means? If I ain't Michael, I'm Joe.
That's funny. All right, man. I appreciate you, dog. I appreciate you. I'm gonna wrap this up, dude. You have a great day. Happy Father's Day to you.
Yeah, happy Father's Day. God bless your family, man. Health, wealth, prosperity. I love you guys.
Yeah, I love you too, bro. Yes.
Bye.